History made with Seth Rollins leaving the main event of the greatest cash-in ever, and only proves that Seth Rollins has always been the visionary. WrestleMania has always been the place where the impossible's made possible, where dreams become a reality. And that was never more apparent than at WrestleMania 35 in New Jersey, when for the first time in its history, WrestleMania was main evented by the women of WWE. Ronda Rousey arrived in WWE like a tornado, first impressing in her debut at WrestleMania 34 before steamrolling her way to the Raw Women's Championship at SummerSlam 2018. The former MMA champion looked unstoppable, using her wide array of throws and arm bars to hold everyone at bay. As Survivor Series approached, Becky Lynch, now SmackDown Women's Champion, would be set up to compete against Rousey. Unfortunately for Becky, she'd be replaced by Charlotte Flair after Becky was taken out of action following an inter-brand brawl on Raw. At Survivor Series, Charlotte would show a vicious side in a disqualification loss to Rousey. Becky, however, wanted this fight more than anything. At the 2019 Royal Rumble, Becky Lynch would enter the match in someone, you guessed it, Charlotte Flair. But before everything could be finalized, more bad news for Becky, as an injury to her knee led to her not being cleared to compete at WrestleMania, and WWE would replace her with Charlotte Flair. Becky would not sit by and just let that happen, however, and ultimately got her championship. The surprises were not done, though. Shortly before WrestleMania, Charlotte would shock the world of sports entertainment by defeating Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And now the match would be winner takes all, meaning the winner would be both Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion. Three of the most talented women on the roster look to dazzle the world in the first ever women's main event at WrestleMania. Can you go out there and be the last kicker we all know Becky to be? Or will Charlotte and Ronda prove to be too much for you to overcome? Time to show everyone who really is the man. Ronda Rousey was the obvious target for Becky and Charlotte, but Ronda immediately overwhelmed Charlotte and Becky with her blitzing offense, but Becky was able to compose herself quickly enough to avoid another Piper's Pit, leaving Ronda on the defensive early in the bout. With Ronda out of the way, now the Queen and the Man had the ring all to themselves. with Ronda still repeatedly slamming Becky's face into the mat. Charlotte was making the most of Ronda Rousey being down, willing to put Becky through the mat if it meant she'd leave WrestleMania as the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion. While her attempts at getting the pin failed both times, Becky was now in firm control and didn't show any signs of letting up. exactly what needed to be done in that ring, looking to get the pin when she saw Ronda down. The Queen was in top shape, and despite not getting the pin, she was rolling. On a night that saw Seth Rollins run through Brock Lesnar, the final battle of Triple H and Batista, and Kurt Angle's last match, the occasion belonged to Becky Lynch, who ended the night holding both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships high above her head triumphantly. A moment that truly will live forever. Now we jump ahead to WrestleMania 36, the only WrestleMania in history with 0 attendance, a record, and the first to take place on both days of the weekend. It also featured one of the most bizarre matches in the event's existence, the Firefly Funhouse match between The Fiend Bray Wyatt and John Cena. Cena won a hard who could not handle the failure. He'd rebuild, capturing the WWE Championship, discovering his inner Fiend, and also capturing the Universal Championship. But he never forgot about the pain of that WrestleMania 30 loss. So when Cena showed up on SmackDown after some time away to announce that he would not be competing at WrestleMania 36, challenge, with Cena tipping his cap to accept it. Wyatt would lay out the conditions. John Cena would have to venture into the Firefly Funhouse if he wanted this match, where he, the Fiend, would be waiting. Not one to ever back down, Cena remained unfazed. Sure, he didn't know exactly what was going to happen, but he had to trust in himself and his skills. Skills that had delivered a victory over this man before. But he knew that this was not going to be easy, and that he was walking into the base of the enemy. And without the voices of the WWE Universe to cheer him on, Cena would have to face the mind games of the Fiend alone, and hope that he was strong enough to survive. But it's up to you to break Cena down, and show him that in the Firefly Funhouse, there is no one as powerful as the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Yowie wowie indeed. John Cena fights valiantly, but ultimately succumbs to the powers that exist inside the Firefly Funhouse. And the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, finally avenges a loss that had eaten at him for 6 long years. A total nightmare for John Cena. Many of the matches in the 2K24 showcase are easy dream matches. And as we know, usually a dream match is something that fans talk about, pitting two superstars against each other when they know that will never really happen. But at WrestleMania 38, we saw a different variable invitation. Kevin Owens put the wheels in motion for his personal dream match, one against WWE Hall of Famer, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Asking for Austin to be a guest on the KO show was just step one. Next was to disparage the state of Texas whenever he had the opportunity.
I've been here for a couple of days, and it's actually worse than I remembered.
And then it was to extend that trash talk to Austin himself. Stone Cold hadn't competed at WrestleMania since a 2003 loss to The Rock at WrestleMania 19, but he still had plenty of fight in him. With WrestleMania 38 taking place in Texas, Austin knew that he had to show up and hit Kevin Owens with whatever he needed to shut his mouth. Whether that was one Stone Cold Stunner or 15, it didn't matter to WWE's toughest SOB. We were able to sit down with Kevin Owens to talk about how this all came together.
It was pretty surreal when the video aired of him accepting the challenge, hearing him answer me directly and saying,
Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to open up one last can of whoop ass on you, Kevin Owens.
That threat made me so excited. I was so pumped. Career highlight for sure to have Stone Cold Steve Austin cut a promo on me. As far as WrestleManias go, I think the match with Stone Cold takes the cake as the top spot.
Stunner!
Before I started using the stunner, I'd asked him for permission and advice. I don't know that he told me every secret, to be honest. His stunner is the best, because mine didn't keep him down, but his kept me down, so he's onto something.
19 years in the making!
He trusted me to be a worthy opponent for what was his first match back in 19 years. The fact that he was willing to do that with me, that's a huge, huge compliment.
Always a privilege to get to speak to Kevin Owens, and we thank him for the time. We were also able to capture a little message from Stone Cold himself, who wanted to extend the following to Owens.
Hey, Kevin, I just want to say thank you very much for a hell of a night at WrestleMania 38. You motivated me and got me off my ass. 19 years removed, and to be able to go back, bring everything full circle, means a lot to me. Being out there in the ring with you was a blast. Taking that suplex on the concrete was a blast. Kevin Owens, you're awesome.
Steve, I appreciate that more than you'll ever know. And now that we're cool, maybe next time we could share a beer with, I have a can in my hand, you have a can in yours, instead of you just taking a swig and spitting it in my face and mouth. You got my number. You used it before WrestleMania to send me insults in the middle of the night. I didn't forget.
They might get along now, but at WrestleMania 38, it was an all-out war. Can you guide Austin to a WrestleMania victory after 19 years away? Or will KO deal out the ultimate insult, winning the match with his own version of the stunner? If you think you've got what it takes, give me a hell yeah. Stone Cold said he was coming to open one last can of whoop-ass, giving Austin a chance to take a quick beverage break. Instant refreshment. It had been 19 years since Steve Austin competed in a WrestleMania ring, but he looked as good as he ever had once the fight started. If anything, it seemed like KO had really forgotten who he was dealing with. Austin had been all over Owens from the second this fight became an official match, showing no signs of stopping. Taking the fight to the ringside area seemed like an easy call, but KO burst the momentum and sent Owens crashing through the table instead. KO wanted to bring the table into this, and now he was paying the very physical price. As he had numerous times in his legendary career, Austin was able to hurt Owens again, regaining command of the fight. With KO dazed, Austin threw him onto the announce table. Remember, Owens had tried and failed to use a table earlier, so now Austin wanted to turn. KO needed to turn the tide, and fast, or he was soon going to find himself on the losing end of this match he'd waited years to manifest. Perhaps getting a little too comfortable, Austin appeared to take his eye off the ball for a second. But that was all Kevin Owens needed to drop Austin with a hot shot and finally catch a breather from the constant onslaught. But instead of following up with devastating offense, KO Owens. We've seen a lot of things from Steve Austin at WrestleMania, but opening a can in this location was brand new.
Right when it looked like Austin was on his way to victory, bam! KO shocks the whole building by dropping Austin with a stunner. Another humiliation in a series of them on this night for Owens. Could it be time for the Stone Cold Stunner?